This is a Smoking Monkey Productions review of Bub Block. I am T-Bone.
And I'm Fetus Machine.
Sadly, the beef is no longer with us. Anyway, Bub Block. This is a game that is exclusively, how to say, a multiplayer game, a party game. And we have 5 different categories we like to, put it into to kind of really put it in perspective and grade it on a unbiased scale. And the first one is graphics.
Yeah.
What do you think of the graphics?
Very simple, definitely. There is not much variety, though.
Yeah,
I would have to say.
I think it lacked in level design and character model variety.
Right, and the whole level of it was just, one solid color. Yeah. There really wasn't much there.
Yeah, it was just like a brick walled-in field with wells.
I mean, granted, what was there was decent, but just not a lot to work with,
So what score would you give it?
Well, I do like the graphics, but like I said, they're just not variety, so it's not a complete buzzkill. I'd have to give it like a 6.5.
I'm gonna give it a 6, just to disagree with you.
Fantastic. All right. So we'll go ahead and slap that on there.
All
right. Well, the next category is replayability, which it does have replayability, definitely.
It's definitely its strongest point.
That is definitely, yes.
Yeah. So, because of all the customization you do to the single level, and the number of lives you have, the number of blocks you can get, the number of wells you have, the number of blades and their speed and everything like that, I would say I'd have to give this a really high score of a 7.5 because it doesn't have a lot, but what it does have, it has a lot of depth to it.
Right. Like replayability wise, the reason why I would say that it doesn't get higher is just because there's none for the single person to use. So, you're only going to be playing this if you are playing with multiple people. You're never going to pick up this game by yourself and play it. There's literally nothing to do unless you just want to make like goofy pictures. It kind of has that Minecraft thing, but it doesn't stay there. So you don't have that show off thing, that aspect of it. There's not. I would say that there's no single player. It's just there. Again,
it's a definite party game. Like that. That's its niche. Yeah,
it does good at that.
Yeah, it does. It really does well.
Right.
But if you don't have friends, then you're kind of screwed.
Definitely.
So
definitely, I'd say definitely a 7.5.
7.5 for that.
Yeah.
All right. The next category would be value. How much was this game, by the way?
It was 80 Microsoft points, which is equal to $1.
$1.
And I would definitely have to give this a decent score as well, just because in the game you can change the game rules, and you don't really see that in games.
Right. It does have a few flaws that are kind of glaring, but overall, because of the price and the stuff you can do in the game,
and the good replayability and everything, and this is you're going to be playing this game often. Yeah.
Well, and just that, and the premise of it. The whole premise behind the game is to screw over your friends. And for $1, I'd be more than willing to do that.
I mean, come on, who wouldn't want to get $1 just to screw around with friends? Perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah. So definitely value, like 8.5.
Well, I mean,
it was only a buck. Maybe 8. I don't know.
I'd say an 8. It's $1.
Okay.
Yeah.
8. True.
$1.
I mean, we have.
All right, so that's an 8 for value. The next is sound, like the music of it.
So what do you think about that sound?
I thought it was a bit repetitive. It wasn't great, but it's the thing though. With a game like this, you don't pay attention to music since you're playing with friends. You're going to tune it out.
Exactly.
And so the music really doesn't need that much of a high score because it doesn't really play into a huge part of the game.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's definitely not a make or break point of the game, and most of the rounds that you play with your friends or whatever only last like 2 minutes or whatever, 1 minute. So you don't get as much of that that loop kind of feeling to it because once once it gets to that point, the game's done and you start it back up again. I mean, yeah, the variety isn't really there, but I thought this music was pretty good. I mean, because like you said, you're not paying attention to it, so it's not like you're gonna want this whole orchestra in the background. And it's not.
Yeah, it was good for what it needed to be, but again, it didn't really need to be there. I mean, if the game had no music, it really wouldn't have affected it at all. Right. So in those regards, I have to say maybe 6.
I'd say 6.5.
6.5. All right, 6.5. I'll throw you a bone. 6.5. Lastly, gameplay. What do you think of shift gameplay?
definitely a decent score, I would have to say, just because, like I said, and I mean, this would definitely incorporate with the gameplay as well. Being able to change the rules definitely adds more variety to the gameplay, because it kind of changes the way that you play the game. For example, in this game, you know, with the rules of how many blades you have and stuff like that, and breaking the bricks.
Right.
You know, if you don't allow breaking of the bricks, it's really enclosing those people in there, and once that's done, you're good to go. But with that brick, it adds that whole new element to it where it's not just trapping someone in, they can get out, and you gotta.
Right. So it's more of a game of strategy and outthinking your opponent instead of just blocking him and pissing
right.
off.
And then also as well, just to add more variety to it, they made it to where, you know, the speed of the blades and more blades increased, which kind of also puts that twist on it that it's dodging the blades kind of game as well. So definitely, good gameplay elements there.
A lot of changeability with the options and the way the game plays, and you could turn the game completely from just a random party game to something that requires a little more thought and processing power for your brain. It's a decent score, decent score for that.
So what would you say?
What did we give sound?
6.5.
6.5.
Yeah.
I say just despite sound, a 7. Just to
I would say just right around
so
there.
So final score, I'd say on average 7.5.
Definitely
7.5.
Yep, well deserved 7.5. I would have to say.
All right, so after graphics, replayability, value, sound, and gameplay, after the scores we gave those, you know, and after we averaged them out a bit, consideration of the price and everything like that, and all the outside factors, our final score for Bub Block is 7.5.
Yep.
This has been Smoky Monkey Productions. I'm T-Bone.
I'm Fierce Machine.
And that's it.